The text message arrived at 9:47 a.m, right as I was preparing for a client presentation. Family meeting at Mum's, 2 p.m, important. No discussion, no room for negotiation. Classic idler. My name is Erin, and I've spent 34 years being the family safety net. The reliable one, the good daughter, the yes woman. I called Blair from the parking lot outside my mother's Tudor-style house, 15 minutes early as always. They're going to ask something big, I told her. I can feel it. Then say no, Blair said, like it was the easiest thing in the world. You're a marketing executive, not a sacrificial lamb. If only it were that simple. Inside, they were already seated around the dining room table, Mom, Isla, and Dominic. Dad's empty chair loomed at the head of the table like a prop in a stage play. The air smelled of Mom's signature lavender potpourri, masking something darker underneath. Sweetheart, Mom said, rising to kiss my cheek. Her pearl necklace caught the afternoon light. We were just discussing Dad's situation. I took my usual seat, the wobbly chair no one else would claim. What situation? Dominic cleared his throat, straightening his designer tie. Dad's Alzheimer's is progressing faster than expected. The doctor says he needs full-time care. We've been discussing options, Isla added, her manicured hands folded primly on the table. Obviously, a nursing home is out of the question. Obviously, I echoed, though it wasn't obvious to me at all. Mum touched my hand. We know how close you are to Dad. I almost laughed. Dad and I hadn't had a real conversation in years. His favourite response to my achievements was interesting, delivered with all the enthusiasm of someone reading a phone book. What we're trying to say, Dominic continued, is that we think you'd be perfect to take care of him. The room went silent. I could hear the grandfather clock ticking in the hallway, counting down the seconds of my freedom. Perfect, I managed. You're the only one without children, Ela said, as if her kids were terminal conditions rather than choices. And your job is, well, more flexible than Dominic's. My job is running the marketing department for a Fortune 500 company, which you can do remotely, Mom brightened. We've thought it all through. You can move into Dad's house, manage his medication, handle the appointments. What about your jobs? I asked, looking at each of them. Dominic laughed. Come on, Erin. You know I can't step away from the firm right now. We're in the middle of 3 major acquisitions. And I have the kids, Isla added. Plus, the PTA just elected me committee chair. I'm too old for this kind of care work, Mum sighed, touching her perfectly styled hair. But you, sweetheart, you've always been so good at taking care of everyone. They had scripts ready for every protest. They'd planned this ambush down to the smallest detail, probably over wine and cheese while I was at work yesterday. We've even drafted a schedule, Isla said, sliding a colour-coded spreadsheet across the table. Doctor's appointments in blue, medication times in red, therapy sessions in green. My hands were trembling under the table. I pulled out my phone and pretended to study the schedule while actually texting Blair. They want me to quit my job and become Dad's full-time caregiver. Her response was immediate. Tell them to go fuck themselves. I looked up at my family's expectant faces, Mum's practiced concern, Isla's barely concealed satisfaction, Dominic's impatience to get back to his important life. This is a lot to process, I said carefully. Of course, Mum patted my hand again. But we'll need to know by tomorrow. The current care service is charging us a fortune. Ah, there it was. The real motivation. You're so lucky, Isla added, her voice dripping with fake admiration, to have such a noble purpose, to be needed like this. I stood up, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor. I need some air. Nobody followed me onto the back porch. They didn't need to, they thought they had me. Through the window, I could see them congratulating each other, probably already calculating their savings. I watched a cardinal land on Mom's prized rose bush, its red feathers bright against the pale blooms. Something shifted inside me, like a key turning in a lock. For the first time, I saw my family clearly, not as the authority figures they pretended to be, but as entitled actors in a play I never agreed to perform in. My phone buzzed with another text from Blair. Whatever you're thinking of doing, I've got your back. I smiled, watching the cardinal fly away. They wanted an answer by tomorrow, fine. But it wouldn't be the one they expected, not this time, not ever again. You're doing what? Blair nearly spat out her coffee across my kitchen table. It was 7 a.m, and I'd just outlined my plan. Playing along, I said, sliding my laptop around to show her the spreadsheet I'd made. See? I've already found 3 premium care agencies. I'm meeting with the best one today. While pretending you're going to do it yourself? Blair's eyes widened. That's actually brilliant, and slightly terrifying. I took another sip of coffee. I learned from the best manipulators in the business. My phone buzzed. Isla. Have you told work yet? Mum's worried. Of course she was. I texted back. Meeting with HR at 10. Everything's under control. What I didn't tell her was that my meeting wasn't with HR, but with Terrell Shepherd, Director of Elite Care Services. I'd researched him thoroughly. His agency had the highest ratings and specialised in Alzheimer's care. Your family's going to lose it, Blair said, watching me gather my things. Like, nuclear level lose it. Good. The agency's office was modern and welcoming, with none of the clinical sterility I'd expected. Terrell stood to greet me, his handshake firm and professional. Ms. Bailey, he said, gesturing to a chair, your situation isn't unusual. Many families try to burden one member with full-time care responsibilities. They expect me to start next Monday, I said, pulling out my documents. Can you be ready by then? He reviewed my father's medical records, nodding. We can provide 24/7 care, including medical supervision, therapy, and social engagement activities. But the cost... I've seen the rates, I interrupted, sliding over a cashier's cheque. This covers the first 3 months. I've also arranged automatic payments after that. Terrell raised an eyebrow. Usually, families want to split these costs. They will, eventually. They just don't know it yet. Back at work, I met with my actual boss, Sarah. She'd been dreading this conversation. I could tell by how she'd been avoiding eye contact all week. I need to request a sabbatical, I said, before she could speak. 3 months? 3 months? She looked relieved. Your mother said something about you leaving permanently. I smiled. Mom says a lot of things. 3 months we can handle. You've got enough vacation saved up to cover half of it. Perfect. Everything was falling into place. That evening, Isla invited herself over to help me pack. She stood in my bedroom doorway, watching me fold clothes into boxes. It's so brave what you're doing, she said, not offering to help. I don't know how you do it. Practice, I replied, thinking of all the times I'd covered for her, babysat her kids, taken her shifts with Dad. Will you keep your apartment? Haven't decided. Another lie. I'd already renewed my lease. My phone rang. Dominic. Hey sis, quick question about Dad's finances. Since you'll be handling everything, we should probably give you access to his accounts. Already taken care of, I said smoothly. I met with his lawyer today. What I'd actually done was ensure Dad's accounts could only be accessed with multiple signatures, including mine. No more convenient ATM withdrawals for Dominic's emergency business expenses. Later that night, I met Terrell at Dad's house to do a walkthrough. He took detailed notes while I showed him Dad's routine, medication schedule, and particular quirks. He likes classical music in the mornings, I explained, and he'll only eat soup if it's in the blue bowl. We'll make sure he maintains his routines, Terrell assured me. We'll be here Monday at 9 a.m. sharp. Perfect. That's when I'm supposed to move in. He gave me a long look. You know they'll try to contact you. Let them. I handed him a sealed envelope. This contains legal documentation showing I've arranged and paid for professional care. Plus, a letter explaining my decision. Open it after they've had their meltdown. Back home, I found an email from Mum. Darling, we're so proud of you for stepping up. We're planning a special dinner Sunday night to celebrate your sacrifice. I forwarded it to Blair with 3 laughing emojis. You're really doing this? She texted back. No second thoughts? I looked around my apartment, at the career awards on my walls, the photos of friends I'd neglected for family obligations, the life I'd built despite their constant demands. They think they're getting their sacrificial lamb, I typed back, but this sheep is done being slaughtered. My phone lit up with another text from Isla. Don't forget to pack Dad's medication chart. Can't wait to see you settled in on Monday. I smiled at my perfectly packed suitcase, ready for a very different destination than they expected. Everything's ready, I replied. Monday will be unforgettable. Mum outdid herself for my farewell dinner. The dining room looked like a magazine spread, her best china, crystal glasses, even fresh flowers. The performative gratitude was suffocating. To Erin, Dominic raised his wine glass, his voice practiced and smooth, who reminds us what family truly means. I lifted my glass, wondering if they'd still be toasting me tomorrow. To family? Dad sat at the head of the table, pushing his food around. Why are we celebrating? Remember Charles? Mum touched his hand. Erin's moving in to take care of you tomorrow, is she? He looked at me vaguely. That's interesting. The familiar dismissal made me grip my fork tighter. Interesting. Always just interesting. I made your favourite dessert, Mum announced, bringing out a chocolate cake. Well, I ordered it, but I remembered you loved it as a child. It wasn't my favourite. It was Isla's. I'd always preferred lemon. But correcting her now seemed pointless. Speaking of childhood, Isla chimed in, remember when Erin used to play nurse with her dolls? It's like she was practising for this moment. I wanted to be a doctor, actually, I said quietly. Until someone needed to help Mum after her surgery, the table went silent. Nobody mentioned how that temporary arrangement had stretched into 2 years of my pre-med dreams slipping away. Well, Dominic cleared his throat, everything happens for a reason. And now you get to use those caring instincts for Dad. Mum dabbed her eyes with a napkin. I don't know what we'd do without you, sweetheart. Probably hire professional help, I muttered into my wine glass. What was that? Nothing. Just grateful I can help. Isla reached into her designer purse. We got you a little something, to show our appreciation. She handed me an envelope, beaming like she was giving me a winning lottery ticket. Inside was a Starbucks gift card. $30 to compensate for sacrificing my career. We know how much you love your lattes, Mom added. I stared at the gift card, feeling a hysterical laugh bubble up in my throat. This is unexpected. Don't spend it all at once, Dominic winked. Dad looked up from his untouched cake. Who are you? It's Erin, Dad. Your daughter, he frowned. The quiet one? Yes, I said, something breaking inside me. The quiet one who always waited for you to speak first. Have you figured out what to do with your apartment? Mum asked quickly, changing the subject. Everything's taken care of. And your plants? Isla added. I could take them, add them to my garden. Of course she could. Isla had been collecting my sacrifices like trophies for years. The plants are handled, I said, thinking of Blair watering them while I was away. Everything's arranged. So organised, Mom praised. I knew we could count on you. Dominic checked his Rolex. I should head out. Big meeting tomorrow. Of course, Mom nodded. Isla, don't you have that PTA thing? Oh yes. Almost forgot. They were already standing, gathering their things, their duty done. One last dinner to cement their roles as the supportive family, before leaving me to handle everything alone. Isla hugged me tight. Call if you need anything. Well, text first. You know how busy it gets with the kids. Sure, I smiled. I know exactly how busy you get. Mum pressed another kiss to my cheek. We'll check in tomorrow once you're settled. Can't wait. Dominic clapped my shoulder. You're doing the right thing, sis. Dad's lucky to have you. One by one, they left, their expensive cars pulling away from the curb, returning to their carefully preserved lives. Only Dad remained at the table, staring at his cake. Would you like me to wrap that up? I asked him. He looked at me with sudden clarity. You were always watching, weren't you? Always waiting. Always last. The words hit like a physical blow. I touched his shoulder gently. Good night, Dad. Outside, I called Blair. It's done. How bad was it? They gave me a Starbucks card. She was quiet for a moment. Please tell me you're not having second thoughts. I looked back at the house, at Mom cleaning up inside, at Dad still sitting at the table, at the life they'd planned for me without asking. No second thoughts. My flight's at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Did you get the letter I left for you to mail? Already in my bag. I'll send it exactly 1 week after you're gone. I got into my car, looking at the gift card one last time before tossing it in the trash. They think tonight was their goodbye dinner. They don't realise it was mine. Get some sleep, Blair said softly. Tomorrow you start living for yourself. I drove home through familiar streets, past the hospital where I'd once dreamed of working, past the life they'd chosen for me, toward the one I was choosing for myself. My alarm went off at 5 a.m, but I was already awake. Blair picked me up in her SUV, the pre-dawn streets empty and quiet. "Ready?" she asked, helping me load my suitcase. "I've been ready for 34 years. The airport was starting to buzz with early morning travellers. I checked my phone. No messages yet. They were probably still sleeping, dreaming of their perfectly orchestrated plan. "Text me when you land," Blair said, hugging me tight. "And don't you dare feel guilty. The only thing I feel is free." At exactly 9 a.m, as my plane taxied down the runway, Terrell and his team arrived at Dad's house. I'd paid extra for their best staff, knowing my family would be there waiting. I wished I could see their faces. My phone started buzzing as we took off. Isla first, then Mom, then Dominic. I switched it to airplane mode, ordered a mimosa, and closed my eyes. 3 hours later, I turned my phone back on in the airport bathroom. 47 missed calls, 63 text messages, 5 voicemails. Isla. "Where are you? The care team is here, but you're not." Mum. "Call me immediately. This is unacceptable." Dominic. "What the hell, Erin? Answer your phone." I listened to the first voicemail. Mum's voice trembled with rage. "How dare you? We're standing here with some stranger who claims you hired them. Your father is confused and upset. Call me back this instant." Blair had texted too. "DEFCON 1 at your dad's house. Isla's having a meltdown. Dominic threatened to call the police, but the care team showed their contracts. Your mum's face turned purple, worth every penny I'm missing." I sent them all the same text. "My sacrifice was noble. Now it's yours." Then I turned off my phone and headed to my hotel. I'd booked a suite overlooking the ocean, my first real vacation in years. The room cost exactly what I used to spend on emergency groceries for Dad every month. At sunset, I turned my phone back on. The messages had evolved from anger to bargaining. Isla. "Whatever you're trying to prove, you've made your point. Come back and we'll discuss this like adults." Mum. "This care service is extremely expensive. We can't afford this. Please be reasonable." Dominic. "Do you have any idea how this makes us look? My colleagues as parents use this agency. Fix this, now." I ordered room service and opened my laptop to send one email to Terrell. "How's everything going?" His response came quickly. "Your father is settled. He asked about the quiet one earlier. Your family left after we showed them the payment arrangements and legal documentation. They seemed surprised." I bet they did. The contract specified that if they dismissed the agency, they'd be legally responsible for all future care costs. My lawyer had been very thorough. Blair called on video chat. "Your mum's calling everyone she knows, trying to figure out where you are. Isla's husband is furious about the care costs. Dominic's threatening legal action." "Against what?" "I pay for professional care. I'm not legally obligated to be their sacrificial lamb." "Speaking of lambs," Blair grinned, "Ela had to cancel her spa weekend to help with Dad. She's not handling it well." My phone buzzed with another call from Mum. This time I answered. "Where are you?" she demanded. "On vacation." "Vacation? Your father needs you." "No, he needs professional care, which I've arranged and paid for. We can't afford this service long term." "Then I suggest you all start contributing, like a real family would." "How could you do this to us?" I watched the waves crash against the shore through my window. "The same way you did it to me, easily," she gasped. "We were trying to help." "No, you were trying to help yourselves. To my time, my career, my life. Not anymore." "You're being selfish." "Goodbye, Mum. The care team has my contact information if there's a real emergency. Otherwise, don't call me again." I hung up and blocked their numbers. Blair was still on video chat, watching with wide eyes. "Holy shit," she whispered. "You actually did it." "They thought they had me figured out," I said, raising my glass to the sunset. "The quiet one, the reliable one, the one who always said yes." And now? My phone lit up with a text from Terrell. "Your father just had dinner. He said the soup was perfect. We used the blue bowl." I smiled, feeling lighter than I had in years. Now they get to figure out what happens when the quiet one finally speaks up. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of freedom. Tomorrow I'd explore the city, eat at restaurants without checking my phone every 5 minutes, and start living the life they never thought I deserved. Let them deal with the consequences of their choices. I was done dealing with mine. The cafe in Lisbon smelled of fresh pastries and coffee. I sat at an outdoor table watching people pass by, none of them expecting anything from me. My coffee had gone cold, but I didn't care. For the first time in forever, I could order another without calculating if Dad needed more medication this month. My laptop pinged with a message from Blair. "You need to see this. Video calling in 2 minutes." When her face appeared on screen, she was trying not to laugh. "So? Your family had another emergency meeting last night. Let me guess. To discuss my betrayal?" "Oh, it started that way, but then they got the first bill from Elite Care." I sipped my coffee. How'd that go? Dominic actually yelled, "How much?" so loud that his neighbour texted to check if he was okay. A waiter stopped by, and I ordered another pastel de nata in broken Portuguese, my third of the morning, because I could. "Tell me everything," I said. "Okay, so Isla suggested they fire the agency and hire someone cheaper. Then Terrell, who I'm starting to worship by the way, showed them the contract terms. If they terminate early, they're responsible for 6 months' payment plus penalties." I'm sure Dominic loved that. He tried calling his lawyer, who apparently told him it's ironclad. Blair leaned closer to the camera. "But here's the best part. Your mom suggested they take turns caring for your dad instead." I nearly choked on my coffee. "No way." "Way." Isla's husband lost it. Said if she dumps the kids on him to play nurse, he's done. Dominic claimed he can't possibly take time off because, get this, the family needs his income now more than ever. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number, Isla using her husband's phone. "This isn't fair. I have children. Real responsibilities." I blocked that number too. "How's Dad?" I asked Blair. "According to Terrell's daily report, he's doing better with the consistent care. He's even started painting again." Something twisted in my chest, but I pushed it away. "Good. That's good." "Don't you dare feel bad," Blair warned. "Your mum's trying to guilt everyone in their social circle, calling you unstable, ungrateful, selfish." "Classic mum. How's that working out?" "Not great. Apparently, several of her friends' kids have similar stories. You're becoming something of a folk hero in the country club set." My laptop pinged with an email notification from Dominic's work address. "This childish stunt is affecting our family's reputation. My firm's partners are questioning my judgment. If you don't fix this immediately, I'll be forced to take legal action. You have 24 hours to respond." I forwarded it to my lawyer without replying. Blair was still talking. "Isla had to cancel her charity gala committee position because she needs to help with Dad on Thursdays now. She's telling everyone it's temporary, but Dad's condition isn't temporary," I finished, "and neither is the responsibility they tried to dump on me." Another message popped up from Terrell. "Your father asked about his quiet daughter again today. When I mentioned you were travelling, he said, 'Good, she never did before.' Thought you'd want to know." I saved the message, letting it sink in. Dad had noticed after all. "Earth to Erin," Blair waved at the camera. "You okay?" "I found my old diary yesterday," I said, pulling out the worn notebook. "Listen to this entry from when I was 16. Mum says I'm the only one she can depend on. She means I'm the only one she can control. Someday they'll understand what that cost." Damn. Teenage you was deep. Teenage me was right. I closed the diary. They're learning now. My phone lit up with a series of notifications. Isla had posted on social media, "Family is about sacrifice and duty. Some people never learn that lesson." The comments were not what she'd expected. "Didn't you make your sister cancel med school to take care of your mum?" Pretty sure duty means everyone pitches in, not just one person. "Sounds like someone's mad their free childcare escaped." Blair snorted. "She deleted it after 10 minutes, but screenshots are forever." "How long until Mum tries the flying monkey approach?" I asked. "Already started. She's calling mutual friends trying to get your location. I told everyone you're on a spiritual retreat in Tibet." I looked around the sunny Portuguese plaza, at the castle on the hill, at the life I'd chosen instead of the one they'd assigned me. "Let them look," I said. "I'm done being found." The waiter brought my fresh pastry and coffee. No rush to eat it, no calls to answer, no guilt to swallow. Just the sweet taste of freedom, one bite at a time. 3 weeks into my disappearance, the first crack appeared. It came in the form of a voicemail from Isla, her voice raw and unfamiliar. I missed Tommy's soccer game today because it was my turn with Dad. He didn't even know who I was, just kept asking for his quiet girl. I hope you're happy. I played it for Blair over lunch in Barcelona. She'd flown out to spend the weekend with me, bringing updates and zero judgment. They've worked out a rotation schedule, she said, stealing one of my patatas bravas. Dominic gets weekends, Isla takes Thursdays and Fridays. Your mum claims she's too fragile for regular shifts but supervises everyone else. How's that working out? Blair pulled out her phone. According to Isla's husband's Facebook rant, nothing like having your wife miss your anniversary dinner because her brother couldn't find backup care. Family obligation shouldn't mean marriage destruction. My phone buzzed with a new email from Dominic. Had to reschedule 3 client meetings this week. Partners are noticing. This isn't sustainable. Whatever point you're trying to make, you've made it. Time to come home and fix this mess. Fix this mess, I repeated. Like I'm the cleaning service they call when things get dirty. Oh, speaking of cleaning, Blair grinned. Your mum tried to hire her usual housekeeper to help with Dad. Guess what the housekeeper said? Tell me. That she's not qualified for medical care, and maybe they should have thought about that before driving away the daughter who was. I laughed so hard I nearly knocked over my sangria. Please tell me someone recorded that. Better. It was during the garden club meeting. Half the town knows by now. Another voicemail notification popped up. Isla again. Mum's having anxiety attacks. Dominic's drinking more. Dad asked for you at dinner and I didn't know what to say. Is that what you wanted? To punish us? I deleted it without responding. Blair watched me carefully. You okay? They're not used to consequences, I said. Neither am I. My laptop pinged with Terrell's daily report. Your father's art therapy is showing progress. He's painted 3 seascapes this week. Also, your sister arrived late again and left early. Your brother cancelled his Sunday shift. Would you like us to arrange additional professional coverage? I replied immediately. Yes. Bill it to the family account. Blair whistled. That's going to hurt them. Less than they hurt me. My phone lit up with a text from Mom, sent to all 3 of us. Family meeting tonight. Mandatory. We need to discuss this situation. Dominic. Can't. Client dinner. Siler. The kids have a recital. Mom. Mandatory means mandatory 7 p.m. I imagined them sitting around the dining room table, my empty chair like a ghost in the room. Blair's phone buzzed with an update from her source, Mum's neighbour who lived for drama. They're screaming at each other, Blair read. Dominic just said he's losing accounts because he's distracted. Isla threw a wine glass. Your mum's crying about her reputation at church. Any mention of Dad's actual care? Oh, wait, yeah. Apparently, Isla suggested moving him to a more affordable facility. Dominic shot that down fast, said it would look worse than the current situation. Always about appearances. A new email arrived from Terrell. Your mother asked about reducing services to cut costs. I reminded her of the contract terms and mentioned that inconsistent family coverage would require additional professional hours. She seemed displeased. I forwarded the email to my lawyer just in case. Blair's phone buzzed again. Update. Isla's husband just showed up at the family meeting. He's demanding she choose between Dad's care and their marriage. Dominic called him selfish. Your mum's having another anxiety attack. They're imploding, I said quietly. They're facing reality, Blair corrected, maybe for the first time. Another text from Mum. Your siblings are being impossible. I need you to come home and help me handle this. I blocked her newest number. You know what's crazy? Blair said. Your dad's getting better care now than he ever would have with their plan. They're just mad because they have to deal with it themselves. My phone lit up with a final voicemail from Isla. Everything's falling apart. Mark's talking about separation. Dominic's firm is questioning his commitment. Mom can't handle the stress. We need you, please. We're your family. I stepped out onto the hotel balcony, watching the sunset over the Mediterranean. Behind me, Blair was ordering dinner, planning our trip to Paris next week, living in the present instead of drowning in the past. We're your family, Isla had said. But family shouldn't be a prison sentence. Family shouldn't mean sacrifice without choice. Family shouldn't be one person carrying everyone else's burdens. I deleted the voicemail without saving it. Let them learn what real responsibility feels like. Let them face their own choices, their own consequences. their own reflections in the mirror. I had a sunset to watch and a life to live. The cafe in Paris had perfect Wi-Fi, which made posting my story that much easier. I'd been writing it piece by piece, a digital confession titled How They Broke Me, the Family That Ate Its Own. "Are you sure about this?" Blair asked over video chat. "It's going to be nuclear." "I'm done being quiet," I said, hitting post on the anonymous blog platform. Let them see themselves through someone else's eyes. Within hours, the post went viral. I watched the share count climb, each number a small victory. By evening, it had reached local Facebook groups back home. By midnight, it was trending on Twitter. My phone rang. It was Terrell. "Your sister just arrived at your father's house, demanding to know if I helped with the blog post. She seems to think she recognises certain details. Are you okay?" "I'm a professional, Ms. Bailey. Angry family members aren't new to me. But you might want to check social media. Your mother's church group is particularly active." He wasn't wrong. Mum's carefully curated social circle was imploding. Her best friend had commented, "Is this why Erin really left? Deborah, we need to talk." Isla's PTA committee was worse. "In light of recent events, perhaps new leadership would better reflect our values of family and compassion," Blair texted. "Dominic's firm is doing damage control. Apparently, forcing your sister to sacrifice her career while building your own doesn't align with their family-friendly image." I opened my burner email account and found dozens of messages from strangers. "Thank you for writing this." I thought I was the only one. "Just sent this to my family, who expects me to quit my job to care for my mum. You gave me the courage to say no." Then came the message that made my hands shake. "Your story deserves a bigger platform. I'm an editor at The Atlantic. Would you consider expanding this into a feature piece?" Blair called immediately. "Did you see?" I saw. "Are you going to do it?" I looked out my hotel window at the Parisian streets below. They made me invisible. Maybe it's time to be seen. My phone exploded with notifications. Isla had posted a rebuttal. "Some people twist family duty into victimhood. Real families sacrifice for each other." The comments were brutal. "Like you sacrificed? Or just Erin? Funny how family duty always lands on one person. Where were you when your sister gave up med school?" She deleted it within minutes, but screenshots spread like wildfire. A text from an unknown number, Dominic using his assistant's phone. The managing partner read the blog. "I'm being called in for a review tomorrow. If I lose my position over this, I'll sue you for defamation." I forwarded it to my lawyer with one word: thoughts. Her response: "Let him try. Truth is an absolute defence." Blair sent another update. Isla's husband moved out. He posted that he won't let his kids grow up thinking exploitation is love. Mum tried a different approach, posting a carefully worded statement. "Families face challenges differently. We only wanted what was best for everyone." The replies were immediate. "Best for whom?" "Did you ask Erin what she wanted?" "My mother pulled the same manipulation. Haven't spoken to her in 5 years. I received another email from Terrell. Your father read the blog post during art therapy. He said, 'The quiet one finally shouted.' Then he painted this." Attached was a photo of a painting, a small boat sailing away from a dark shore. In the corner, he'd signed it, "For my daughter, who learned to leave." Tears blurred my vision. Blair's voice came through the phone. "You okay?" "He knew. All this time, he knew. Of course he did. He just didn't expect you to know too." My laptop pinged with an email from the Atlantic editor. "Your story touches on something universal, the way families designate their sacrificial lambs, and what happens when those lambs grow teeth. When can we talk?" I thought about all the other quiet ones out there, swallowing their dreams to feed their families' expectations. Maybe they needed to hear this too. "Set up the call," I replied. Mum's final message came through a mutual friend. "You've humiliated us, destroyed our family's reputation. I hope you're satisfied with the damage you've caused." I clicked block one last time. Blair's voice was gentle. "Any regrets?" I watched the Paris lights flicker on as dusk settled over the city. Somewhere back home, my family was facing the consequences of their choices, just as I had faced mine. The difference was I had chosen my consequences. They had earned theirs. "No regrets," I said. "Just freedom." "To freedom?" Blair raised her wine glass through the screen, and to quiet girls who learn to roar. I lifted my glass to the setting sun, to Dad's painting, to every person who needed permission to break free. Sometimes the loudest truth comes from the quietest voice. And mine was just getting started. The Atlantic article went live on a Tuesday morning. I read it from a quiet apartment in Barcelona, my new home base. The piece was raw, honest, and hit like a thunderbolt. The designated daughter, breaking free from family obligation. Blair called before I'd finished my first coffee. It's everywhere. Have you seen the response? I'm afraid to look. Don't be. You've started a movement. My inbox was flooded with messages from readers, each one a mirror of my own story. Daughters, sisters, aunts, all designated caretakers, all searching for permission to choose themselves. The phone rang. Tyrell. Your father asked to speak with you. My heart stopped. Is he okay? Very. He's having a lucid day. Would you like me to connect you? I hesitated. Then, yes. Dad's voice came through clear and strong. I saw your painting. The boat one. You were always watching the horizon, he said. Even as a little girl. I should have let you sail sooner. Tears spilled onto my keyboard. Dad! No, let me finish. I was wrong. We were all wrong, but you were brave enough to be right. In the background, I heard Mom's voice approaching. Dad spoke quickly. Be free, quiet one. You've earned it. The line went dead. Blair sent a screenshot of Isla's latest social media update. After much reflection, I'm stepping down from all committee positions to focus on family healing. Some truths are hard to face. Dominic's firm put him on probation, Blair added. They're requiring family therapy if he wants to make partner. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Mum, using yet another friend's phone. The article is everywhere. My bridge club disbanded. Your father's paintings are all boats now. Are you satisfied? I didn't block this one. Instead, I replied, Are you ready to listen? 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally, I don't know how. That's the most honest thing you've ever said to me. Another pause. The care agency bills keep rising because you keep skipping shifts. We can't do what you did. No, I typed. You have to do what you should have done from the start. Share the responsibility, all of you. It's too late to fix this. It's not about fixing. It's about changing. She didn't respond. My laptop pinged with an email from a publishing house. Your story has touched a nerve. Would you consider turning it into a book? We envision a memoir about family obligation, gender expectations, and the courage to break free. Blair called again. Did you see? Your article sparked a whole Twitter thread about designated daughters in different cultures. It's going global. I never meant to start a revolution. Sometimes the revolution starts itself. You just opened the door. Tyrell's daily update arrived. Your father completed another painting today. He's calling it The Wake. It shows a ship's trail in the water with multiple smaller boats following its path. Attached was a photo. Dad's technique was shaky, but the message was clear. One break for freedom inspires others to follow. My phone lit up with a text from Isla. Mark moved back in. We're in counselling. I told the kids why Aunt Erin left. My daughter asked if I would have done the same to her. I couldn't answer. I saved the message, but didn't respond. Some questions need to be answered in the mirror. Blair's voice was soft through the phone. You know what's beautiful? You didn't just free yourself. You freed them too. They just don't know it yet. Outside my window, Barcelona hummed with life. My laptop showed 3 more speaking requests from women's organisations. The publishing contract waited in my inbox. Dad's painting filled my screen. Boats following boats following boats. What now? Blair asked. I looked at my passport, at the stack of blank notebooks on my desk, at the life I was building on my own terms. Now, I smiled. Now I write the next chapter. My phone buzzed one last time. A message from Tyrell. Your father asked me to tell you something. He said, the quiet one speaks for many now. Tell her we're all listening. I touched the screen, thinking of all the designated daughters out there, watching their horizons, waiting for permission to sail. Tell him I know, I replied. Tell him I finally understand why he gave me that toy boat for my 10th birthday. Some of us are born to break the waves. Blair laughed. Look who's getting poetic. Look who's getting free, I corrected. Outside, the Mediterranean stretched endless and blue. Inside, my story waited to be continued, not as the quiet one, not as the designated daughter, but as myself. Finally, completely, irrevocably myself.